So imagine walking into a public meeting, standing at the podium, and the people who are there to time your speech can see the time, but you can't. Now, it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Now imagine the scenario where the same officials discussing whether or not they should regulate speech on social media suddenly can't answer a question on transparency. That's exactly what unfolded in this meeting. What starts as a dispute over a missing countdown clock quickly spirals into confrontation about free speech, government transparency, public accountability, and who gets to decide what citizens can and cannot say when it comes to things online. Well, one member of the public wasn't having it. Legend. He challenged the council. He challenged their attorney. He challenged the entire idea that local government should be acting as some kind of referee over public discussion. And then something unexpected happened. Several council members started to agree with him. And by the end of the meeting, the very policy designed to regulate social media speech was facing some serious resistance from the very people expected to vote it in. So, was this a victory for transparency? Or was it a warning about government overreach? Or simply just another example of officials creating problems nobody asked them to solve? Watch closely, because what begins as a missing stopwatch timer ends with the council openly questioning whether they should be policing speech at all. Here we go.
You know when further than have a motion to...
Oh, you didn't even ask.
Oh.
Well, that is a very rude way to go about that. And I didn't come here to be rude, but public comments was still open, correct?
On agenda items. So.
On agenda items, yeah. What page is that on, the social media thing that the gentleman was just on? Page 19? All right, where's my clock? Where's my clock?
I have.
May I see it? Why do you have it? For the purposes of transparency, would it be a good idea that maybe the public can see their own time so it's not being policed? So maybe I have an idea of like how to gather my thoughts, how to give my opinions, and like how much time I have left? Do you think that would be in the general interest of the public to be able to see their own clock?
It's not for me to say.
No, it is for you to say. I'm asking you. Would you think, in the wildest world of your imaginations, would it be in the best interest of the public to be able to view their own time?
I've seen it done in various ways. Here, we have not done that.
See, that's the thing. That's
Keep track of your own time. You can put a phone.
And if I had known there was no clock, I would have brought my own phone, and I would have had my own time limit that I could look at, because I couldn't rely on the township to do it for me. I couldn't rely on the township to have a clock to show me, so I would have. I would have had my own phone, and I would have kept track, because we can't rely on the township to do that. You know, and Mr. through the chair to Mr. Attorney, I don't know what hypothetical you're talking about. This is all this stuff with the social media stuff. This has already been settled. You know, if you're representing yourself in your official capacity, that's a public forum. The Supreme Court has already decided on this. Linke versus Freed, 2024. Ratcliffe O'Connor, 2024. In New Jersey, Ronco versus Carteret. Yade versus Hamilton. This has already been decided. You guys can't police speech. You can't police content, because then it's a viewpoint discrimination problem. I would love to enlighten me, please. Who decided? Like, were you guys at a table and you all decided that you were going to, police speech? Like, who came up with this? Like, whose idea was it? Who thought that that would be a good idea for the public to play principal to adults? To adults. If anybody thinks that's a good idea, please raise your hand now. I guarantee you tens of thousands of people are going to be watching this meeting. And if you're proud of your decision, and you're proud of the way that you go about things, then please, by all means, police speech, police content. And the public can decide for themselves if they think that's a good idea for you guys to be policing speech. Policing my time, quite frankly. I can't even see my time. And you can't even give me an honest answer and say that it would be in the general interest, the best interest of the general public, if we could see a clock.
So can we just take a minute here to appreciate what it is that we're witnessing? We've reached a point in local government where apparently the nuclear launch codes are easier to access than a public speaking timer. The gentleman isn't asking for state secrets, he's not requesting classified documents, nor is he demanding access to Area 51. He just wants to know how many bloody minutes he's got left before he's cut off. Meanwhile, the clock's being guarded like it's the last slice of pizza at a council Christmas party. Can I see the timer? No. Why? Reasons. This is either the world's most protected stopwatch, or somebody has misunderstood the concept of transparency.
I mean, how much is everybody making on a salary? And we don't have $10 on Amazon? I'll send you all the link. I will go home and I will email all of you the clock for $10 so the public can see how much time they have. How transparent can a body possibly be when they're policing my time? I have no idea how. May you tell me how much time I have left, dear sir?
2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Why would I even have to ask? Isn't that nonsensical? A clock. Through the chair to Councilman on the right, do you think that would be in the best general interest of the public for transparency issues as we're talking about policing speech and policing things? Do you think it would be a good idea that we should have a clock? Yeah, it's an easy answer. I don't know why you have to give me the runaround. You know, do you think people buy that? Like they buy an answer like that? You're guarding my clock. And then you're going to guard our speech. Because you want to play principal with adults, taxpayers. As taxes keep going up, we pay more and more and more and get less and less services. And you want to police our speech when that's all we got at the end of the day. If we want to bicker on social media or whatever we want to do, let the people do it. They're hardworking people. All of this has already been decided. Your township policy is nonsense. I hope all of you vote with your heads and your hearts. If you believe in having the administration decide, right? Because at this point you even said, well, we don't know. We don't know who's going to be making these decisions. Well, that's quite comforting, isn't it? That's quite comforting.
That's not what I said. It would be brought to the administrator's attention. The administrator, if he felt it necessary, would consult with me as legal counsel, and a determination would be made if there is a violation of the policy. And
so if he felt it necessary, so he would be the one determining what needs further escalation, or?
I mean, the administration would do it. Exactly how that would take place is uncertain.
Certainly, that's certainly the intent of what you explained. You know, you guys are not supposed to be policing speech. You're not supposed to be policing content. What's going to wind up happening is the township is going to be liable to have to pay out money for a lawsuit because Mr. Attorney can't explain to them the Supreme Court rulings. I don't even know how much time I have left.
10 seconds.
10 seconds? Anybody think maybe we should get a clock? Yeah. It's a great suggestion. And thank you for giving an honest answer. I appreciate that.
11826. Same.
11826?
Yes, sir.
I need a motion on 11826.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
No.
I'm sorry.
Discussion.
The discussion, please.
Oh, yeah, Mayor. I think actually agree with Mr. Ramirez on that last paragraph there. The way I read it, and I would like to, I guess, take a little more time to look at it. I mean, as I read it in plain English, obviously not being an attorney, it does say a social media account created by a, et cetera, official. So if I create a social media account, then that becomes property of the borough. I feel like that could be cleaned up a little bit, even though you're right, that's not the intent, I'm sure of it. I think we could probably iron that out a little bit better.
Now, this is where the plot twist arrives. Because 5 minutes ago, the public speaker looked as though he wanted to go into a boss fight with the entire council. Suddenly, the council members start reading the policy and start saying, actually, hang on, I'm not sure about this. I have concerns too. And at this point, the attorney's probably just sitting there thinking, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to remind everyone that this document was supposed to be passed tonight. You can almost hear the brakes locking up. The public speaker turns up to challenge the policy, and then the council starts challenging the policy. It's like watching a courtroom drama where halfway through the trial, the jury stands up and starts to join the defence team. Nobody seems entirely sure who's arguing with who anymore. And we all know that the policy entered into this room expecting an easy ride, and it's currently being escorted towards the back of the building by those who are supposed to be supporting it.
So for that reason, I'm asking that we not proceed with this as it is presented tonight, respectfully.
Yes, Mayor. I also had mixed feelings about this as well. I was going to request us to table it as well because there's a lot of concerns. I want to make sure that we do not stop the public officials. The governing bodies should have certain rights with being able to speak, and I wanted certain language to be added, into the policy. Or maybe even we could dissolve it. I have a lot of mix, so I wanted to remove this. This was put on the agenda, and I didn't really have time to really digest any of it personally. And as it sits right now, I would be against it. So that would be where I sit, and that's where I'll leave it at that. If anybody else has a discussion, they can.
Anybody else have a discussion?
I also have wording that I would like to be placed in it because there's some questionable things, just like the gentleman brought up. I don't know your name, but there's certain things in law when you put any, shall, those terms in council, you wouldn't be familiar with that. We need to look at that. So that's just where I sit. I'm not going to belabor it. There's a lot of problems with it on face value.
Yeah, I think the last thing I personally also had a question about was the commenting and blocking people from certain comments. I get the point of it, but just randomly blocking and not letting people see the or page or even the personal, because it also says the official. So if I post something, do I have to get approval from the administrator, business admin? So like to table it also so we can discuss it.
Also, just to elaborate on what Kanjan just stated, that's where I have another problem with. Like, who would be responsible, the business administrator or anything particularly? We would have to move it outside of the borough. There's too many politics. There's too many things in state, and with the way the environment is, depending on who is controlling the dais up here, it could take us down a slippery slope of silencing one another and taking it to a whole nother level that we should not be doing constitutionally.
Sure, just ironing out a process for transparency and fairness. I agree. Just a point of order: since there's a motion on the table, can we introduce a motion to table, or do we have to go through this motion now?
If I could, so if the governing body is inclined, you could just vote it down, and then there could be a new policy redrafted another time that's more in congruity with what you guys want, right?
Gotcha.
There's no need to if the general sense is people don't like this, you vote it down, right? You don't table it because you don't like it.
So let's vote it
So
down.
you don't have to table it
No, I hear you.
unless you want to.
I mean, I personally am in. So when I was a legal clerk for the city of Elizabeth, there was a policy and it was reviewed, and council's right. This does protect the borough by establishing it. If an individual violates it, it can cover the borough from a liability perspective. I just think as it's introduced, it can be further teased out, as some of the gentlemen have pointed out tonight. My only question is, I would like to table it and revisit it, as opposed to just voting it down. But can I make that motion if we have a motion on the table? All right, so then I motion to table.
Can we finish discussion? I also agree with what you're saying in regards to certain liability concerns. Like, for instance, like if committees have control of a page and they're representing the borough, that would be something that would be I'm open to, but like just everything that's written down in face value is what I'm opposed to. But like if it's directed towards committees and things of that nature, I would be open.
Sure. So, if anybody has more to say, but I'd just like to make a motion to table resolution number 118-26.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Petruski.
May I be heard just briefly? So, again, I personally did not draft this policy, to be clear, but I would recommend, if you have concerns regarding the policy, it is my strong recommendation that you do have a policy. It doesn't necessarily have to be this policy, but this is not the kind of thing that you want to table and forget about because, as I said before, every municipality that I am aware of, and I believe insurance carriers are insisting upon it, is that you do have a social policy
Liar. L-I-A-R.
to address the complicated issues that are involved with this. So if there are concerns or suggestions, I'm happy to be involved if I'm asked to do so. But they should be brought to the table and addressed sooner rather than later would be my strong recommendation.
I like Andrew's suggestion that we just vote it down and then he could just easily just clean it up or do whatever he needs to do.
That's what I'm saying is in terms of cleaning it up, it seems like a number of council members have an idea on how to clean it up, and I think those ideas need to be provided as soon as reasonably possible.
Understood. But we have a motion on the table that's been seconded, so let's...
Thank you. So I'm going to call roll to call the roll to table.
On a motion to table, Councilman Petrosky,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
All right, yes.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilman Patel,
Yes.
Councilman Castellans.
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative on a motion to table. The resolution is tabled.
So there you are. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you to the one, I can't remember who sent me that clip. I didn't do the music and all the overlays that was sent to me like that. So don't moan at me about the music. Don't care. So yeah. But on a serious note, this just goes to show you the power of turning up, asking questions, and sometimes you get results. So look after yourselves. See you later. Bye.